Welcome everybody to the Walk the Talk podcast. Today we have an amazing guest, and our guest is not another person, but our own very doctor, Dr. Yaniv Zaid. So, Dr. Yaniv is known to the world as the Doctor Persuasion. He's an economist and attorney. Dr. Yaniv Zaid acts as a business consultant to government departments, private firms, and public organizations. Dr. Zaid is recognized worldwide as an expert in the fields of public speaking, marketing, sales, negotiations, and persuasion. And he's actually placed the third by 2003 world ranking of public speakers. Following 20 years of international success, Dr. Zaid as the author of 11 best-selling books, including Public Speaking, Creative Marketing, and the amazing one, which is the Sales Bible, and is often invited to lecture and consult all around the world. Lectures and consult in different universities around the world, in his country, Israel, across America, Europe, and Asia. And today, we have the privilege to share and talk and have a conversation with Dr. Zaid right here live. So guys, anticipate something great. Now, Dr. Yaniv, I want to hear from you. How do you feel now, and what are you anticipating in this particular podcast?
Hi, Oliver. It's great being here. It's a privilege to be here. We are going to we're going to go to Bali, to Indonesia, to speak at the Public Speaker Summit, GSS 2024. And I look forward to meet you face to face. And I came here to provide lots of value to our viewers, your community and my community, on how to do a public speaking better, how to gain a good relationship with the organizers who bring us to lecture. And I'm sure you have a lot to contribute on this matter as well. And you have your own unique perspective as a lecturer in Cameroon and United States and Asia and Europe. So let's start.
Awesome. I love that, man. And before we even start the conversation, the podcast, I really, I'm blown away by your achievements. Like, you've written 11 books, like I think six of the books you've written, they are in Hebrew, and then 5 in English, translated in English. Yes, that's amazing. So you have broken the barriers. Like, there are a lot of people out there, and they have amazing ideas every single day, every week, every month, and they have plans to write books, but again they keep on procrastinating. Everyone, what is your secret to have written 11 books? Like 11 books. At least somebody listening to us outside should be inspired listening to you. What did you do that you have written 11 books non-stop?
Yeah, first of all, I wrote 11 books during 20 years of experience, and the secret is just to share your knowledge and to share information, because all of us, we have lots of stories in our lives, stories that happened with clients, and case studies and things that I'm consultant, so companies I consult to, so I have lots of experience and lots of stories each day. And once in one or 2 weeks, I sit down and I write a story, and I write something that happened with my clients, so some case study, or analyze something that happened in real life regarding marketing or sales or negotiation or persuasion. Those are my topics, and then I write it. And when I have enough information, enough material, then I gather everything, package everything into a book. So this is why I can publish let's say each 2 years a new book, because I have lots of information. And all of us, we work a lot with lots of clients, we gain lots of experience, and if we know how to storytell it and how to to package it in the right way, and this is something I teach also in I talk about marketing writing and how to publish books. Then something everyone can do, because usually we treat our lives as taken for granted, because this is our life, so we don't see it from outside. But if people will look at our lives from the outside, for example, your life, my life, the listeners, then they say, wow, you have very interesting life, your life is great, and you say, what? I just delivered another speech today, I was in another conference, or I helped the client solve a problem, something like that. We don't see it as something wow, but from the outside it looks wow. So if we understand that our lives for others are wow, and that we have lots of information to share and lots of content to deliver, then we take our knowledge inside our head and not just talk about it and write about it, and then you can get books, and not only books, you can also have a blog, and videos on YouTube and content on your social media, etc.
Wow. So you're saying that as a speaker, as a trainer, which you are and which we are, you cannot not write. You have to write, because you're delivering presentations and keynotes, and you definitely need to convert all of those things into books to set more people. We cannot reach out to the whole population of over 8 billion people in the world. So, but our books can actually do. I love that. So today we're talking about how to maintain long-term relationship with your host. Now, I wanted to share with our listeners right now, what do you do to maintain cordial long-term relationships before the event, during the event, and then after the event?
Yeah, so first of all, when you come to a lecture, there always is someone inviting you, to a conference. So if I say, for example, I work with Intel or with IBM or with Coca-Cola, I don't work with the company. I work with people inside the company. Sometimes it's only one person who invites you, and then you deliver a workshop or lecture in front of 1,000 people, but only one people invited you. So for me, the relationship with clients begin when they approach me or when I approach them, and then immediately I would like to establish a long-term relationship with them. So not just about the content, people will always work with people, not with ideas, not with content. So if people will like me, and if people will have a good relationship with me, they will invite me more and more. And if they feel comfortable working with me, and then they will ask me to come to lecture at the conference. So before the content, before the knowledge, before the things I'm going to say, I would like to deliver or to persuade them that I am a great guy, that they have interest in working with me, that I will deliver, my word is good, and what I promised I will deliver. And in order for a client to buy from you the first time, you need to have 4 steps. It's called know, like, trust, buy model. So step number 1, they need to know me. They need to get to know me, meaning they need to know that I exist in the market. So this is why I create lots of content on my social media and participate in podcasts and webinars, and create lots of movies on YouTube and write books, etc., because they need to know me. This is step number 1. Step number 2, they need to like me, because if they like me and they have great chemistry with me, then it's more likely that they will invite me. So by the way, they can like me without even seeing me for the first time or meeting me for one-on-one. Why? Because they can see a movie, my movie on YouTube, and they can like me, or they can read an article, professional article, and tell to themselves, well, this guy, I understand his niche, his values, and I connect with this guy. Okay, or they can talk to me by phone and hear my smile, and then they can react to it. So the second step is to like me. The first step number 3, is they need to trust me. Trust me that I can deliver what I promised, that I actually am a brand, that actually I am a professional authority, that I can, if I go to a conference with 1,000 people, I can actually deliver value for all those people, their workers or their colleagues. And again, they haven't heard me yet. So how can they trust me? Because of social proof, because they already saw movies of me on YouTube. Maybe I gave them some examples during a conversation or something like that. So only if they know me and then like me and then trust me, then they're going to buy from me for the first time, meaning as a lecturer, invite me to lecture in the company or the organization. And then after I did a great lecture or workshop, then they will, if they like me and if the people will say that they have great great value from it, they will call me again and again and again. So there is a long-term relationship that starts when the persons inside the company approach you for the first time until actually there is no end, you know, because I would like to have a long-term relationship with my clients, and I would like to develop a relationship for years, not to end it at some point.
I love that. Beautiful. I love knowing, liking, trusting you before the buy. And this concept of social proof is really, really great. It has really helped me to get more speaking gigs globally, and I love that. So let us know, you know, how effective is open communication between the host and the guest, and how do you think the speaker and the guest can actually ensure that expectations are met?
It's a good question. First of all, we talked about social proof. So behind me, my background is my books, you know, and my diplomas and my formal certificates. And behind you, I see also rewards, you know, and pictures and the flag of Cameroon and United States, right? So there is social proof behind us, and we both bring, for example, a different perspective. For example, if we both talk about public speaking and we both are going to be lecturers at the same conference, so obviously we can talk about the same subjects, but the lectures will be very different because each of us brings, you know, the unique perspective and their experience and their amount of years and the case studies that happened to him. So the same topics, a different perspective. So this is something that companies look for. They look for your unique perspective. So for example, if you and I will lecture in the United States, we're not Americans, born Americans. I'm from Israel, you're from Cameroon originally, but we can both live in the United States and you know, lecture to Americans, for example, because they would like to hear us, the unique perspective to what to adapt it to their day life.
Yeah.
So we talked about personal attention. So for me, when I'm in contact with someone, I always prepare myself and I learn about the company and I learn about the person. You can learn about the person. You have free information out there everywhere. For example, if I'd like to learn about you, then you have LinkedIn profile with lots of information that you put in. Okay, and you have your Facebook profile, and you have an Instagram profile, maybe TikTok profile. You have YouTube channel. You have a website. You have a mailing list that I can join for free. So I have lots of data, lots of platforms I can use in order to gain information about you. And then I can use this information when I talk to you because I have lots of information about you and your background and your knowledge and your connections and other information. And so if we talk about a company, for example, they talk about, I work lots with startups, and I don't know, sometimes I don't know them. If you're talking about a big company I work with like IBM or Intel or NICE or Variant or stuff like that, then okay, people know those companies, I know where to look. But sometimes people approach me and they say, I come from a company, this and this, I don't know the name. So obviously I'm going to look for the name, I'm going to Google it, I'm going to see the website, I'm going to see some appearance that the company has on in the media, and if they have a LinkedIn page or Facebook page, and I'm going to learn as much as I can about the company, even before the first preparation for the lecture. And then I'm going to adapt my messages after we close the deal, and after going to lecture, I'm going to adapt the message according to the target audience, because my content is the same, but if I would like the lecture to succeed, I need to adapt the content to the target audience. For example, if I'm talking to lawyers or talking to accountants, then I can take the same content, and when I talk to lawyers, I can mention a few times the word lawyer and law and courthouse. And if I talk to accountants, I can mention, IRS or how to pay money or to pay your taxes. And both crowds will feel that it was very, very relevant for them. Okay, so you need to take your content. You don't need to be someone else. You need to be the best version of yourself. You need to take the same content, learn about the company, learn about the organizers, and then use the information to adapt a little bit the content according to the target audience.
Beautiful, great insight there. I just love that. So, Doctor, tell us, what do you do, to maintain some good relationships with your host after you have spoken. You know, it's one thing, you know, maintaining a relationship before, because you want to have the speaking gig, like you don't want to mess up, you know, before the speaking day. So in the course of the event, like delivering well, like you said, is already a guarantee that you maintain the relationship in the course of the event. So I want us to focus a little bit deeper on that. What are the steps? What are the nuggets? What are the tips that every speaker listening to us right now need to put at the back of his or her mind on what to do after you've delivered and you want to maintain that relationship? What are the 3 steps, the 4 steps, the 5 things you have to start doing immediately you're done with your presentation to maintain your relationship for future engagements with your host?
Okay. So first thing is when you deliver a speech, then come earlier and talk to the organizers and meet them. So not just if there is a conference between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And my lecture is between let's say 11 to 12, then I won't come at 5 minutes before 11, go to the stage, deliver a speech, and then leave. Okay, I will come at the beginning. I will try to come as much as my schedule allows it. I will come at the beginning of the conference. I will meet the organizers, because maybe so far I only spoken with them by Zoom or by by telephone or by email, and this is the first time I can actually meet them. So I will come earlier to meet them, to remember more data about them, and then after the lecture I will stay in the conference and maybe have lunch with them, maybe talk to them, hear some feedback, give them my business card. This is one thing. Second thing, I always bring a gift. Usually the gift is my books. Usually when I come to lecture, I sell my books to the audience, but I always bring a certain amount of books as a gift, you know, for the management of the company, for the organizers of the conference, that the ones that brought me to the conference, and then they get out of the conference with a book of mine that they can bring home, they can show their family, they can put it in the office or something like that. Number 3 is during the lecture, I always talk about them, mention the preparation we did. I thank them personally at the end or something like that, and they feel great because in front of their their colleagues, their employees, their managers, I talked about them, and I talked about good things about them. And then after the conference, when we are going home or going to the office, during the next few weeks or months, I'll stay in touch. How can I stay in touch? First of all, I always take the data of the organizers, their names, their emails, and their phones, and I put it in my CRM and in my mailing list. And then I write emails to everyone, to all of my community. I have community with more than 30,000 people. So I write at least once a week some article, or I deliver a YouTube video, something like that. So if they are in the list, they will hear me again and again, or they hear from me again and again, at least once a week. Sometimes they won't open because they're busy, but the name Dr. Yaniv Zaid will keep popping in their email box, inbox at least once a week. So this is one way to stay in contact. It's not personally to them, but it's a group follow-up, let's say. And another thing I can do, if they are important for me, or if we talked about follow-up, then I can follow up personally. It's called RTC, reason to call. What does it mean? After, for example, 1 week or 2 weeks, or even 1 month, I contact them personally by email or by WhatsApp or even by phone call. And then I say, for example, hi Oliver, how are you? Let's say you are a representative of some company. Hi Oliver, how are you? I thought about you because I have another gig or another lecture yesterday, and I talked about the same subjects. I will send you some photos from this event. This is one example. Another example, hi Oliver, how are you? I thought about you because remember when we talked in the lecture about the fact that the government is going to do this and this. So yesterday there was a law passed, the government passed a law about this. I will share with you the information. Or another example is, hi Oliver, how are you? You remember I lectured in your conference 2 months ago. So I'm doing a meeting for my clients by Zoom, and I think it's a subject that's very relevant for you, for what I remember that you said. So I would like to offer you an invitation or something like that. Now, what is the difference between this and a regular follow-up? That a regular follow-up, you say, hi Oliver, how are you? We met two months ago. would you like to have me again for next year, or would you like to invite me again? And it's good. Regular follow-up is also good. It's better than not follow-up at all, okay? But I'm talking about taking something from you, right? Hi, Oliver, when are you going to pay me again? But if I deliver you a reason to call, and the reason I called is I would like to give something to you, not to take from you. I would like to give you connections. I would like to give you information. I would like to give you invitation to a conference. I would like to give you some details about other things I did. Then the conversation is different, because you don't feel like I'm going to take from you and I am just called you because of my interest, and the conversation is about you. And then if you start the conversation like this, and the reason I call is because of you, and I would like to give you something, and then you feel good with me, and then afterwards I can ask you in the flow of the conversation, during the conversation, and about your next conference. When is your next conference? Do you have a subject yet? Do you have lectures yet? Lecturers, and then you can invite me again. So this is building a relationship that it's not, it's not like we're friends, me and the organizers, okay? But there is good relationship. It's not that we are not friends, or maybe we're not close friends, but we are not just vendors, and client, okay? We are also human beings who contact with each other, and we have a special relationship. And if I do it and other lecturers won't do it, then I have a relative advantage that they will pick me over others because they feel close to me and they feel good with me.
Yep. I love that. I love that. That's totally amazing. I love that. And to our viewers and listeners right now, if you practice these tips that Dr. Yaniv is sharing, I bet you will have, rebooking and rebookings in your upcoming gigs. Now, let us know, Dr. Yaniv, have you encountered some challenges as a professional speaker, as a keynote speaker, in the course of doing that? Have you faced difficulties with your customers or hosts? And if yes, how did you navigate through that? And what are some lessons you learned from that experience?
Yeah. So first of all, of course, I had some difficulties with companies. I delivered more than 2,500 lectures and workshops worldwide in 4 continents during the last 20 years. So obviously, not everything is perfect. And I say each lecturer have once in a while, a lousy lecture. So if you are a bad lecturer, then you have 1 out of 2 lectures, it will be bad. And if you are a mediocre, lecturer, you have 1 out of 5 or out of 8. And if you're a great lecturer, again, you will have 1 out of 20 lectures. It will be bad, because sometimes it doesn't just depends on us. It's also because of the crowd, because of the time schedule, because they heard some bad news before you went on stage or something like that. So not everything relates to us. But I made some mistakes during the last 20 years. For example, if I didn't prepare myself right and I didn't know much information about the audience, so maybe I gave wrong examples. I talked to a company on how to market, B2C, business to client, but actually they were more interested in B2B, business to business, because this is their business model or something like that. Or for example, religious audience. Maybe I gave a bad joke about something that they felt embarrassed with, or maybe I gave the wrong story. It happened to me once or twice. So I always try to do my best to gain information about the audience and to talk to organizers and to understand their interest and to understand what topics are they interested in and what are the problems that I can solve. For example, what are the problems with marketing and sales, and I always try to do it. But not everything is perfect, and sometimes you talk to someone in the company and he provides you with certain information, but if you talk to the manager, to his manager or her manager, they will give me another information and different information. For example, they would like different examples that I provide or different topics. So I prepare myself according to the conversation I had, and then I come to the actual lecture and I realize that maybe I should have done something different. So you do your best. And you can't always satisfy everyone, and obviously if you have hundreds of people in the audience, So not everyone will be satisfied in the same. Some of them will see you as a magician. They will say, "Oh, it's great stuff! Wow, amazing! My life, you changed my life after this lecture." Some of them will say, "Okay, I heard about marketing, for example. I know stuff. Maybe I learned something new. It's good, but it's not a game changer, but it's a good lecture." And some of them maybe will disappoint, and they will be disappointed. They will say, "Okay, I expected more than this doctor persuasion, because I heard lots about him, and I expected many new things, and I didn't feel like I learned anything new or something like that." So you can't satisfy everyone. You can do your best, and obviously my target in every lecture is that all the 1,000 viewers will say, "Oh, you changed my life. Okay, this is good for me, even business-wise." Yes, but it doesn't happen. So you do your best, you prepare your best, you try to be the best version of yourself. If there is a mistake or something wrong, you criticize yourself, you adapt yourself, you try to learn it for next time. And at the end of the day, we are all human beings.
Yep, lovely. And when you prepare your best, do your best, and be your best, and whatever happened after, it's a lesson. You learn and you keep on going. Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is something very, very important for lecture, because you are always good as your last lecture. So for example, if you had bad lecture, then the good news is that you are going to have another lecture this evening or tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So you can have a success feeling very, very quickly. And if you had a good lecture and you have another lecture tonight, it doesn't mean anything, because the crowd tonight, they don't know that you had another lecture at noon, and they don't care. They would like to see you at your best. So every lecture starts all over again. Every lecture starts strong, and you need to do your best in for each crowd, each situation. So it doesn't matter for them if, for example, sometimes I have 3 lectures a day, one in the morning, one in the noon, one in the afternoon, or something like that. Now they don't know each other, they don't care about it. They would like to see me at my best. So the best version of me. They don't care that I am tired or I didn't have time for preparation or something like that. So you need to treat each lecture the most serious in a more serious approach, and to do your best each time.
Lovely, great. So let us know. I know we talked a little bit about maintaining long-term relationship with the clients. From my research and personal experience, there are 3 tiers that every organization go through before they get their speaker, the trainer, keynote, for whatever event they have. The first tier is they ask among themselves, like, who do we know that can be a good fit for this event as a speaker?
Yeah.
And it will surprise some of our viewers and listeners right now that most of the time they don't know exactly the best speaker that can fit in a board meeting. I mean, so when they cannot get someone in the board meeting who can handle that gig, that engagement, the second tier they do is they ask their friends, the network of their networks, like, who do we know that can be of help? And when their network is not able to satisfy them with a good keynote speaker, with competent and eloquent speaker, the next thing, of course, we'll go to Google, like, who are the speakers around Israel that can be a good fit for our upcoming convention, summit? And so who are the speakers in New York? Who are the speakers in Texas? Who are the speakers in Minnesota? Who are the speakers in South Africa? Who are the speakers in Cameroon? So we ask all these questions, and then Google refer to us. Okay, there's Dr. Yaniv, there's this person, there's that person, there's... Okay, we go now to your social media platforms to check, do you have enough social proof? Like, do you have... I love the fact that you talk about social proof, do we have enough social proof? And so understanding that these are the 3 tiers that we go through before our name pops up. What do you advise to somebody out there, on the kind of conversations they should be having with their clients after they have done their event, even within the event, in such a way that when such conversation comes up, they will quickly think about, oh, I know of a certain Dr. Yaniv Zaid who is really, really good. And we can recommend him again for this organization, to this partner, to this host, to this event planner. So what are the kind of conversations we need to engage ourselves with our host, especially after the event, that can make our names unforgettable in their memories?
Great. So you mentioned a few things. First of all, networking. We'd like to establish a good net of contacts, personal contacts and professional contacts and business contacts. So if I come to a lecture and I go to the conference, I usually try to introduce myself not only to the organizers or to my colleagues, but to the other speakers and to other people there, and to gain, to deliver, business cards and books and gain information about as many people as possible. And then I would like to give them a speech, an elevator speech about myself. And the elevator speech, I think the most important information they need to know is who could they refer to me. Because if they know who could they refer to me, they know another two things. One is what I do. And two is it for them? Is my service or products are for them? So for example, we talked earlier about the know, like, trust, buy model. Okay, so let's say, for example, I have a friend who has a company, and he approaches to me and say, well, Yaniv, I would like you to lecture in my conference, and I can't do it because I'm busy, or schedule is not right or something like that. Or he says to me, I would like you in another lecture. Do you know any lecturer that is a coach, is a successful international coach? Now I said to him, well, I know Oliver, you should approach to Oliver. He is great, I know him, he is great. This is the email, this is the mobile, please contact Oliver. Now he's calling you. So this is a good referral. Why? Because they don't know you, but they don't know me. They don't like you yet, but they like me. They don't trust you yet, but they trust me. So the model know, like, trust, buy, okay? They did the model, but with me, not with you, because this guy says to himself, okay, I know Yaniv. Yaniv is a serious guy, and he only knows serious lecturers. So if Yaniv is saying to me that Oliver is great, then I guess Oliver is great, and then he's going to contact you. Now he's coming very, very mature for the deal. All you need to do is not to do something bad. To talk nice, to smile, to deliver some social proof or something like that. Don't mess it up, because when the client contacts you, he's already very, very satisfied with you, because he's satisfied with me, and I gave him a compliment. So referrals are very, very good. So I always try to have many contacts as possible and cooperations that people can refer to me. And also there is lots of agencies for lecturers worldwide that people are networked together. For example, the conference in Bali that we're going to lecture to, both of us, is a GSS company, is an organization, many lectures there for many different topics and many countries, and then we can refer to one another. Or for example, in Israel, United States, each country you have some lectures agencies that companies turn to them and say, well, I am looking for a lecturer for, let's say, marketing and sales for my marketing department. Do you know any lecturer like this? And then I have a list of good or great lecturers for marketing, and then they say, okay, Dr. Yaniv Zaid is in the list. You talked about that you're looking for someone with lots of experience about marketing. Dr. Yaniv Zaid is your guy. And then they can actually negotiate between us and connect me to the client. I don't know the client doesn't know me, but we both know the agency, and through the agency I got the gig. So it's a good thing to do network all the time, to have lots of wide net of contacts, to invest in those contacts, to spend money, time, and energy to gain content and to deliver have a great relationship with other people, and that in that way colleagues can refer to you and agencies can refer to you.
Great, lovely, and that's really powerful. And one of the things that I've started doing lately is I also do what they call a speakers outreach. Like I can go out to a restaurant, and when I see families together, I will like, hey guys, can you give me 2 minutes to perform a miracle or a magic here? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. I could just teach them something within 2 minutes that they will never forget. It could be on any topic that I'm good at. And when I do that, I give the business card. And then when I get home, I could call them. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my magic. Do you have an event coming up in your organization, in your company, in your relation? And guys, this is what I do for a living. If you come across an event, I'm available to talk on personal development, resilience, team building, leadership. And that's one of the ways we at times speakers get speaking engagement, because I've just realized that when you depend a lot on speakers bureaus, speakers associations, at the end of the day, you may end up even broke as a speaker. So going out for outreaches when you have the time is also amazing. And then Dr. Yaniv Zaid, do you notice that most of the time we travel, we stay in hotels, and there is an opportunity in most hotels we stay for more speaking gigs. Most of the time, I would love to go into the notice board, see the upcoming events in that hotel. I would take a picture, I would snap, and then I could contact the event planners and organizers and hosts. Like, hey guys, I saw you. I was lodging in this hotel. I saw your event coming up. This is what I talk on this, and then maybe if you have an upcoming event, feel free to let me know. If I could be of a
I like your approach, because networking you can do everywhere with parents of your kids' friends, and during conferences. And when I go to conference, I always try to stay at the hotel of the conference, because I have more time during breakfast, during dinner, after and before the conference, to meet more people. And I love your innovative approach, to initiate contacts, to be innovative, to don't wait for opportunities to come to you, create opportunities. And we talked about more like trust buy. So what you talked about is first step, to know you, because if they don't know you, they don't know you exist in the market, then if they hesitate which lecturer to bring, you're not on the list. But if they know you and they got your business card and they met you, they will say, we can bring this one and this one and this one, and what was the name of the guy we met at the restaurant or something like that, and you are in the list. And networking, I also, when I go, even sometimes to vacations, I wait in line in the airport, and I start talking to someone, and then he becomes a client. Maybe we can talk about the conference, not now, but 2 months from now, I stay in touch, and then they have some gig for me or something like that. So yes, networking we can do everywhere. And sometimes you come to a conference and you came to one lecture, and you can gain 3-4 lectures out of it if you just network correctly.
Great. So tell us, what are the things that we should not do when we are doing elevator pitch, when we don't have time? What are the mistakes we need to watch out for and avoid during elevator pitch when we're introducing ourselves to fellow hosts and planners?
So first of all, I believe in authenticity, to be authentic, not to be the best version of yourself. Don't try to be someone else, because I'm Yaniv, you're Oliver, we're not the same. So you have your approach, I have my approach. So if we try to copy one another, then it won't be authentic. So clients recognize it, and people today, we record it in 2024. People have a fake radar or a bullshit radar. They know when you are authentic and when you are not. So just do things that you feel comfortable with, or say things that you feel comfortable with, and don't push yourself too hard. There is there is a balance between not do anything, not follow up at all, or not approach at all, and this is one edge, and the other edge is to push yourself all the time, to interrupt people during their meals, or to start talking to someone who's not interested in talking to you. This is the other edge. So you need to have the balance between those approaches. You need to approach, you need to initiate conversation, you need to talk to people, you need to deliver marketing materials, but to do it in a balanced way, only when it's relevant, only when they're relevant for you, only when it suits the situation is appropriate, or something like that. So I think this is something you gain by experience, because you learn when to do it and when not to do it. Maybe you learn it on the hard way, or if you read my books, you can see when to do it in a good way or in the bad way.
I love that. For somebody like me, I am most of the time I'm a go-getter. Like when I want what I want, I go get it. So how do you define an appropriate situation during networking?
I think you need to read human beings, and to be very sensitive when you interrupt someone, when you see someone is looking all or to other directions. They're not involved with you directly. When a person is in a private situation, he was sitting with his girlfriend during dinner, and then you start talking to them. So okay, 1-2 minutes is good, but if you start taking 5 minutes out of the time, maybe you are bothering them already. So you need to be very, very sensitive and do it only when it fits, or only when you see that it goes two ways. I'm interested in talking to them, they're interested in talking to me. It's not just I'm now doing something for my interest, and I need to see the other side as well. By the way, marketing wise, it's not wise. So if I will be I push too hard, then I won't get the gig. Okay, so people will again know, like, trust. They need to like me. If they won't like me, think that I am just someone who bothers them, then they won't be able. They won't feel comfortable and bring me to the conference.
I really love that. So you are an amazing speaker, and you've been speaking for the past 20 years plus. Wow. Congratulations, Dr. Yaniv Zaid. Tell us, what are some challenges you encountered when you were starting your speaking career? Like, what are some difficulties you encountered when you started the speaking career? Because I definitely believe strongly that our viewers, our listeners would love to know, especially aspiring speakers, emerging speakers. Some of them are feeling like giving up in their professional speaking career because there are a lot of challenges they are going through right now. What are some challenges you encountered? Maybe just 2-3 challenges you encountered when you're starting your career, and how did you overcome that, please?
First of all, I love to lecture, and I do it, and the reason I succeed doing it successfully 20 years is because I enjoy each lecture and each workshop, and I prepare myself all the time, and I love people, and I invest in my relationship with organizers and companies and colleagues and friends. So the bad news is that you all your life you need to market yourself. It doesn't stop. There is not one place that you say, okay, enough is enough, everyone in the world knows me. No, you need to market yourself. This is the bad news. The good news is that there is a way how to do it. There's a formula how to do it. So if you do it in the right way, in the balanced way, then you can keep on going and market yourself and sell yourself and be professional for the rest of your life. So when I started, obviously, and this is the challenges I have till today. First of all, I would like more people to get to know me. When I started in Israel, then I wanted everyone in Haifa, the city where I was born in north of Israel, that will get to know me. And then I moved to Tel Aviv, the main city in Israel, and I wanted everyone there to know me. And then everyone in Israel. And then I said, okay, I would like to succeed abroad. So I would like to have more countries knowing me. And I started being in conferences worldwide. So each time I would like people to get to know me. So I all the time create content, and I network, and I approach to people, and I participate in podcasts like this. This is something I do all the time, 20 years ago and now. And another challenge is to adapt yourself to the target audience, like I mentioned, to take your content and to adapt it each time in different ways, to say the same messages in different ways, not different messages, because at the end, I have some agenda, I have some messages, I have some unique perspective I would like to share with the audience. So I don't want to change myself. I would like to be the best version of myself, adapted to the target audience. So this is another challenge. And another challenge, I think, is to adapt yourself according to how much time you have. If you have 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hours, or it's a full day workshop, then the same content, you need to spread it over a different amount of time. This is also a professional challenge.
Great. So how do you overcome, for instance, myself, when I started in Africa, in Cameroon, it was challenging. Most of the time, I was invited to speak in Rwanda. I was invited to speak in different countries in Africa, but they will not pay my flight ticket. They will not, they expected me to do a pro bonus, and literally at times I need to pay my flight ticket. So the question I was asking myself, like, how long should I keep paying my flight ticket? How long should I continue speaking for free? And at a certain point, I was disappointed. I was feeling like giving up, because I've spent every dime I have saved for my corporate works, and I was not getting the speaking gigs I was anticipating to have for. So like somebody right now listening to us is in that stage, and most of the time he's always invited to speak for pro bono, and like what advice can you give them that can actually console them, that can comfort them, that there is going to be light at the end of the tunnel?
Yes, first of all, I believe in if you provide good value, then you need to take to ask for good money, okay? Because you can do free gigs at the start just to gain some experience, but very quickly, this is what I did 20 years ago. Very quickly, you need to ask for high prices. You need to build a brand. You need to build a professional authority. Because if you go just you perform for free, then it's a certain clients that will ask you to do it. You know, big companies, even if you're at the beginning of your way, they don't invite you for free. They will pay you. Maybe they won't pay you a lot because you're not yet familiar, but they will pay you. So look for the clients who will pay you and pay you well, and look for the companies who will understand how value your content is and how valuable you are, and they treat you like an expert. And the absurd is that if a client pays you little or doesn't pay you at all, then they won't appreciate you. So they don't pay you and they don't appreciate you. And when a client pays you a lot, then they treat you like an expert, and they treat and all the conditions around it. They will pay you a lot and buy your flight ticket and talk about you and do a great publicity for you before the lecture. So you need to look for from the beginning of your road. You need to look for good companies, for good clients that are relevant for you, that you can give them lots of value, and then you can charge accordingly. And don't do many things for free. If you would like to get a certain amount of money, don't ask for less, because then you you make people used to the fact that you come for less. You know, if I come for a company and I take half of my salary, and now they refer me to other client, they will say, well, you should take him. He will tell you that he asks for, let's say, I don't know, $4,000 a lecture, but no, actually, when you start arguing with him, he will get down to $2,000, something like that. And it's not good for me. It's not good for me because it's bad for my reputation, bad for my brand. So you need to have, your price quotes. You need to have the prices you charge. You need to provide in supporting the audience and providing great content, and then you can charge whatever you want, and you can be a professional authority from day one.
Great, I love that, man. So because most of our audience and most of our listeners right now, they are beginners, they're emergent speakers. So the question is, when do you know that you need to start charging your clients? When do you know that you have to stop speaking for free and start speaking for a fee? And then it's a few questions. Yeah, the other part of it is, okay, how do you identify organizations and companies that they will need your services and they can get it?
My advice is, if you believe that you're an expert, if you believe that you are good at something, you have a unique perspective, you can charge money from day one, from your first lectures. And maybe if you'd like to gain some experience, you have a very good company that you would like their logo in your website, and you can do something for free as part of your business model. But what is good for a business, and I treat lectures as a business, even if they are one-man show, one-woman show, from day one, you need to treat yourself in respect and charge for prices, because we provide service, and sometimes to provide service, if you, for example, you buy product, okay, you don't imagine a scenario that you can come to a grocery store and take some milk and go without paying, right? Because it's a product and the owner paid for it, and you need to pay him with a profit, But service is something, okay, you just go and talk. Okay, you don't need to get money for it. No. My service is like your product, I, like you said, I spend lots of money and time and energy to become an expert, to have great value to share, and you need to pay me for my time. This is my service. This is my product. My commodity, your commodity is our time, is our knowledge and our time. So you need to respect your time and respect your knowledge. Otherwise, your business as a business, you can evolve, you can develop.
Okay, I love that. So, and again, at a certain point, when you know that you have enough social proof, when you know that you have enough experience to stop pro bonos, to speaking for a feedback, you will also connect. I love what you said. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. So, Doctor, in your book, The Sales Bible, which I cannot wait to start reading, you talk about some 10 the 10
commandments, yeah,
powerful principles on sales, and I was excited with number 9. There's something you said on number 9. You said you have to be attractive. You have to make sure that people should even just like to see you, and when they see you, make sure that they see you and they're happy. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So I wanted to expand on that. What is the strategy?
First of all, I'm saying all the time that you need to have a great relationship with everyone. You need to love people. I think the principle number 1 to be a good salesperson is to love your clients. And tip number 1 for being a good lecturer is to love your audience. And my mission in life is to improve people's, public speaking abilities and sales abilities and marketing abilities and public speaking abilities and negotiation abilities. And I always say to people, if you meet someone, you have an encounter with someone, your mission is that he will feel or she will feel better after the encounter with you than before. Okay, so make people feel good, and they not necessarily will remember what you said to them, but they will always remember how did you make them feel. So this is something very, very important. And let's summarize our conversation. So we talked about many practical tools for lecturers. And if you'd like to read more, then you have my website. It's drpersuasion.com, drpersuasion.com, and you have my YouTube channel, Yaniv Zaid, Yaniv Zaid, and you have my book worldwide in North America, United States and Canada, and you have my book, Sales Bible, 21st Century Sales Bible, also in India and Vietnam and Russia and in France. In many more countries, in China and many more countries, and you can also contact me directly. I will provide you my email. My email is yaniv@yanivzaid.com. It's YANIV@yanivzaid.com. You can ask me questions about this broadcast, and I will be happy to answer any question you may have. And so thank you, Oliver, and I wait to see you in Bali.
Absolutely. And I'm very honored that we're going to be sharing the stage at the Global Speakers Summit in Bali, Indonesia. And I cannot wait to see you there and to get a copy of the Sales Bible and begin reading even before I arrive back to the United States. So what is your last advice to our viewers right now, please? The drop the mic advice or tip.
Yeah, I think the best advice I can give people who would like to have a long-term career in lecturing is love your audience and be professional and treat each lecture and each workshop as your first and last. So do your best each time. Prepare yourself. Learn about the audience. Come with a lot of energy. Do your best. Think that it's your last lecture or your first lecture. Whatever helps you, but be professional. The fact that I've been doing it for so many years is because I really, really love people. I love audience. I love to lecture, and I treat it and I don't take it I don't take it for granted that people invite me to the conferences, and I enjoy it. So enjoy it and love your audience and prepare yourself and be the best version of yourselves, and you will have a long career and a fruitful career.
I love that. So, and that's how we draw the curtains of our first ever episode of the podcast with Dr. Yaniv Zaid from Israel. Thank you, fellow viewers, and thank you so much for your time, your sacrifice to watch this very edition. We are looking forward to the next edition, and recommend this to somebody, share this with somebody, like and comment, of course. And of course, we hope to have again our own very Dr. Yaniv Zaid again in this podcast in the coming weeks and months. And Doctor, I hope you'll be available again to answer us when we come knocking at the door.
Great, thank you very much. Hopefully, yes, and I enjoyed very much, Oliver, and see you soon. See you soon. And again, you can approach me, all the listeners and viewers. You can approach me whenever you feel like. I gave you my details, and look for me, Yaniv Zaid, and ask me questions. No problem. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
And to listeners, make sure that you get a copy of the Sales Bible, because I'm definitely getting my copy. And that is the most half book. That is a go-to book right now. If you're a salesperson, you're a speaker, if you're an entrepreneur, and you want to make a difference. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And we're looking forward to the second episode next week. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.